Hi everyone, this is the second session of our evidence-based practice. I am Professor Arunachalam. Our today's topic is going to be source of research problem. Before starting this, I should thank people for subscribing to this channel and people who have given like and who have viewed all the videos. I think we are going to be worth for all the time you are spending with us. Thank you so much. So we will have a quick recap of what we saw in the previous session, which is asking for a research question and then acquiring information about that research question, whether there are already available researchers. If they are available, we are going to appraise those researchers and make them a qualitative analysis. Then we are going to apply them on our patients and see whether it is really true. If it is true, then well and good. If it is not there, then we are going to audit the results and then we are going to find um, we are going to conduct that as a research in the future. So this is what we have seen until last class. So this is a scenario we normally see. The feedback which I got from the previous class was, sir, your class is not like your original class. It is very monotonous. You used to be more casual and what to say, கொஞ்சம் கலகலப்பா இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு பட் ஸோ I wanted to make this much more relaxed presentation. So this is the scenario what we see as a teacher in clinical setup, or sorry, in the hospital setup, college setup, where people come and ask us, sir, please give me a topic. My guide has not given me a project topic, or the guide will say within 2 days you have to come with the topic. So how you will come up with a topic if you don't have any idea about it? For the sake of doing a research, you can't do a quality research. If at all you do like that, then it will be like duplicating the already available research, like changing ABCD out of A to Z and doing some research is not a research. So from where you get ideas? So we are going to see a sequence of situation from where you can get a lot of ideas to do research. The first and foremost is during your clinical practice. When you're seeing lot of cases, all the cases will not behave in the same manner. Some cases will differ from the results of the other case. So you normally get some confusion whether this is because of our treatment or the behavior of the patient or behavior of the condition. All these things will give you a lot of confusion, and there arise some problems. I have given treatment A for both patient 1 and 2. The 2 has responded well, but the 1 has not responded well. So this gives an research question. So this is very important, very common type of getting research question. Or when you have a case presentation or a case discussion in a college setup or in a clinical setup, people come up with a lot of answers and questions where a lot of views clash with each other, particularly the assessment and treatment part. So that is when you get a lot of research questions in your mind. Please make a note of all those things. Then only you will remember those things and come up with answers for that. Then the subsequent steps you have to adopt when you get this research question. Getting a research question is very important, and it's very easy, but people miss that when they get this research questions, and then they will be roaming here and there for the research problem to do a study. So this is when you get a lot of questions in your mind. Next is when you discuss with your fellow therapist. See, this is not a formal discussion like a case discussion or a case presentation. You discuss with your colleagues, with your friends in a very casual manner. You discuss what you did for the day, and he will also discuss with you. And you will have some difference of opinion, or you may come up with a peculiar answer. I gave this treatment to a patient, he did not respond, and instead he got worsened with his condition. And such sort of discussion between two friends can come up with a research. Definitely it can come up with a research. I remember my very good friend Rajkumar and myself, we used to discuss. Most of our research topics came from the lake shop where we used to take coffee or tea at the end of the day when I was studying in Ramchandra. When he was asked for a research topic, he always tell me, "Come on, we'll go to tea, lake shop. We'll have tea. We'll get some idea of research." So it may sound little odd, but that is reality. That is reality where when you discuss with your heart out with your friend, you will definitely get some topics during class teaching. And that class teaching should not be a boring one. If it is a boring one, definitely that is not going to result in any research question. If it is a class where people are also involved and a good amount of knowledge sharing is going on, less amount of pseudoscience is being taught in that class, definitely you will get a lot of research question. I don't know how many people got some research question from my classes, but I have heard many people coming and complaining about such boring classes to me. From classroom teaching, but you should have the guts to ask your teacher, sir, is this right? What is the evidence for this? Once you start asking for this evidence, teachers will also come up with evidence. Otherwise, they can come and tell anything and everything to you, and you have to believe that. So involve yourself in class teaching, and that will give up lot of apprehension to ask questions. You will definitely come forward to ask questions, and you will seek evidence for whatever your teacher says. Discussion with your guide. Um, the scenario is guide should not be the primary research problem. He should be a person who guide from behind and who gives you a lot of insight into some of your topics. There are a few types of guide student relationship which I see, where the for the first scenario will be the guide will be having a topic and he will give it to the student, and the student will be following that. And that should not be the scenario, because somebody's vision cannot be yours. The second scenario will be the patient, so the student will come up with some study, and the guide will properly guide him in going about doing this research question, reframing the research question, or giving different dimensions, adding different dimensions to the research question. And that is what happened in my PhD project also. My guide was the one who literally helped me in refining my topic, and my giving some different dimension to my topic, and asking me to aim more from this topic. So once you come up with a research question, the thing is how you can improvise on that and build on that and make it a big scenario oriented question. So that helps you in coming up with a good and quality research, attesting each and everything of that particular research problem. Next is when you're reading some research article. So this should be a habit. I saw someone in Facebook giving a challenge of 100 articles for 100 days. Those are all very good innovative inventions. If that is coming up in this time, really I would be like to take part in that. So like that, you should have a habit or inculcate the habit of reading articles at least one in a week. So what this article reading will give you, article is nothing but a research report which is already being done. If you start reading one or two articles, whatever they may be, however poor quality or good quality they may be, you will be able to analyze which is a good article and which is a bad article, poor article, and you will be able to come up with some controversial research. One article might have said that this is effective, the other one might have said this is not effective. One may say that it is more prevalent in female, the other one it may say there are no gender differences. So such contradicting ideas will give rise for you to do some topic. Next is there will be a future recommendation in almost every articles, because it is the reporting format itself demands nowadays to give uh, scope for future recommendation for future research. So you can also read that. If your ideas coincide with that, you can take up that as your research ideas questions. Inventional ideas for some study results, like you see this posture. I have seen defecation posture, very effective posture is 35-degree to the body angle, or even forward arm lean position to have a better rectal angle. So all these things, if I read, um, I'll I'll compare this thing with the respiratory capacity of a person. Which is the advantage position for a person sitting in this in the commode? Which position will be advantage for him to do a proper respiration, or Valsava maneuver? Which is the best posture? So if I can perform a PFT in this sitting posture, I can find out which position is uh, advantage from a respiratory point of view, and I can come up with a research. Just for an example, I'm saying. So when you're reading somebody's innovative ideas or coming up with some thoughts, you can build on that invariably. So reading an article is a very good source of research, finding a research problem. Next is reading books, which we normally don't do. We have hundreds and hundreds of e-books, but we don't read anything. Personally, I will tell you, reading a book from a uh, vertical view is always better than reading it from the horizontal view from a screen or something like that. So it's always better to have a book reading habit, physical book. And then reading the books will give you some ideas about what are the outdated books, and the knowledge which is given by the olden books. The next edition he might have changed the ideas into some other thing. What updation has happened all these days? And then books will also give amount of individual ideas. The author might have some idea and he will come up with those ideas in his books, which may not be present in some articles. And this is also a good source of secondary information. Secondary information is nothing but somebody is doing an article and publishing that as a research article. The books will adopt those results and it will give you an insight into that particular thing. So this is a secondary source information. That's why I always ask my students to read books which have references. Books which do not have references are merely idea of the individual, cut and paste from somewhere else. So always have references in your books. Those books are more valid. The information which is given in those books are more reliable. Next is when you're reading some theories, like a reflex theory, hierarchical theory, from the motor control theories of neural development, or based upon which the concepts like Bobath, Brainstorm have evolved. The theories are very important. What are the contemporary theories you should be knowing, and based upon those theories only our management is going to happen. So when you are reading these theories, you may find some pitfall. You may find that this is odd or it is controversial, and this may also give some research ideas, because once upon a time Bobath and Brunstrom were dealing with more of tone and everything, and later on Karen Shepard came and said don't mind about the tone, and nowadays nobody is minding about tone as far as my knowledge is concerned. And Maitland said you have to mobilize the patient in non-weight bearing posture. Mulligan said you have to mobilize the patient in the functional posture, and all these contradictory concepts keeps going on, and that will give you some idea about why this is happening, and you will come up with some research question. So reading theories is very important. And when you come across some new concepts, when I say advanced physiotherapy, many of my friends will get angry and they'll come climbing on me. Just for the sake of mockery, I'm adding it this. So there is nothing called advanced or something like that. The basic things, when it is done strong, uh, that makes the difference. When you keep your basic strong, I feel that that is the one which is otherwise called as advanced. When you're coming across some quack people selling some equipments on Facebook, rather than asking about the price, please ask them what is the evidence for those things. I have seen people marketing equipments like physio gun and all those things, which do not have any research backup, but still being marketed in our society. So whenever you're coming up with some new concept, some magician coming and teaching you touch therapy or heel therapy without touching, or some magic cupping or something, please ask them what is the evidence, or you go in pursuit of getting the evidence and make convince yourself at least that this is not effective, and don't try to change the world. Definitely those that is not going to happen. Next, when you are seeing some peculiar cases, peculiar scenarios in a routine case, you will come up with an idea of a research, definitely. Or when you see some people's behavior, their actions and their thought processing differs from the other, then definitely you will get a research idea. For example, the behavior depends upon sleeping habits. the CP children who do not sleep well the previous night may behave in a different way the next day morning. That may also give a research idea to you. So peculiar cases and very rare cases can also be presented as a single case study, and you can also communicate to the world that you have successfully treated those patients. So they are also a source of research problem. Though problem or not, they are also a source of research topics. Reading newspaper. When reading somebody tell me newspaper, I always remember this Vadivel comedy. So um, reading newspaper will give you some scenario which is happening in different geographical area. For example, when COVID-19 was very common in China, there was no research which is happening in India. If that could have happened here, it could have made a lot of differences. Or a scenario which is like scoliosis, which is very prevalent in foreign countries. If you see come across some articles like that, or in the newspaper if it is given like that, you can see whether your society is also affected with scoliosis. The pediatric constipation is a major problem 3 months before, sorry, a decade before in Western countries, now slowly picking up in India also. So these are all scenarios when you read across in the newspaper should give rise for some new topics. And then uh, some inventions which has been done in the abroad or other part of your country which is being communicated by means of newspaper will also motivate you to do some bring up with some research question. So invariably the role of a newspaper is research communication and problem communication. If somebody says that there is a social problem happening in your community, you need more clarity, you will get into a research question. So all these things are very important. So to sum up, do the results of the study and the fear of breaking the conventional ideas matter for a research problem? The answer is a big no, because this is what most of the students in the clinical set in the college setup find it very difficult to do. Sir, if I go against the convention, is it correct or not? No, the research do not have any fixed ideas. The ideas keep changing, and don't be afraid of coming up with negative results. It is not always the null hypothesis which has to be declined. You can also accept the null hypothesis. So that is good research. So I hope after going through these slides, you will be having a good idea about how to start up a new research problem. And always remember, கற்றது கைமண் அளவு கல்லாதது உலகளவு. So this is a Tamil saying which says whatever you know is a very little quotient, very very little quotient, and what you don't know is the maximum proportion. So you have to come up in finding answers for many 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 questions. Whatever we know is very less. So this one point which was said thousands of years before will motivate most of us to come up with quality research and finding out our research problem. Thank you so much. Please come up with your discussion and answers and your questions and suggestions in the suggestion box, which can also be a source of research question. Thank you. Have a happy Sunday.